Your brother Craig, he has a really funny story because he says he thought that basically Barack was going to be tossed out like the other guys because you were a tough cookie at that time, and he wasn't sure if he was going to make it, but he was a keeper. Why was he a keeper?
You know, I think because he just blended in. He was a regular guy. I hear my mother talk about him as she's being interviewed more and more, and she says, you know, she found that he never talked about himself. He was always focused on who was around him. He felt, you know, he was somebody that shared the values of our family. He believed in honesty, treated people with respect and kindness, no matter who they were. And that was another thing that drew me to Barack, was his work as a community organizer. I talk about that a lot as well, because that was one of the things that, the ways that he introduced me to himself. He took me to this church basement where he was doing a training with some of the community residents that he worked with before he went to law school. And it was a training designed to help folks in that community find their own power and to try and address some of the issues that were confronting them. You know, joblessness, folks didn't have good schools. You know, it was a typical working class South Side neighborhood. The steel plants that had provided jobs had closed down, and he had worked in those communities for years with churches and community groups.
Tell me that story, Michelle, about, because Craig really, he throws out there really well about how they had to go through a test. Barack was no different in taking him up on the basketball court.
Oh, you're talking about the basketball thing. Well, you know, they went out and played basketball because one of the things that my father always taught us was that you could tell the character of somebody by how they played team sports. And that was something that we always talked about, that how somebody acted on the court or in a team environment gave you a true sense of who they were. So he took him out to play, and he passed the test. As my brother said, you know, I don't remember this conversation as well as he does. You'd have to ask him about it, because it's really his story, his memory, more than mine. But he says that, you know, essentially he found Barack to be somebody that was selfless, you know, that he passed the ball, which is critical in basketball. He wasn't somebody that would shoot just because he had an opportunity to shoot. He was very conscious of the other people in the game, and he played hard, and he wasn't intimidated by other good athletes. And all of that boded well for my brother, who thought, this is a solid guy. So that was helpful.
He got the seal of approval.
Yeah.